the New York City mayoral race, despite being offered money to quit. This evening, it is the second and final debate of the campaign. No indication that Senate Democrats are set to end the government shutdown, but the GOP-led Senate will vote again today on a Republican plan that would turn the lights back on and allow budget negotiations to get underway. On Wall Street, the Dow futures are down 2 points. More details at srnnews.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
Every day I speak with people who are worried and are feeling a lot of pressure because of credit card debt. That's why I'm very proud of what we do at Trinity. We just help. We give people the support they need, along with a real plan to become debt-free. Credit card bills are consolidated into a single monthly payment that is much less than what they were paying before. Most of our members end up saving thousands and even may improve their credit scores by as much as 200 points. I know from the bottom of my heart that I'm making a difference in the lives of the people we help. It just makes me really happy.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5496.
My name is Julie, and I'm a Trinity counselor. Call me and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-936-5496.
Your home for Goodland High School athletics. 4A's Tech Northwest Tech Tiger basketball, the Denver Broncos, as well as the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer. You're listening to Goodland's Rocket 102.5, KKCI FM, Goodland Colby, an NWKS radio station.
Need a porta potty or septic pumping in Northwest Kansas? Call Topside Portables and Pumping, your local family-owned crew. They've got clean, reliable toilets for weddings, farms, and job sites, plus full septic services, RV waste, fertilizer tanks, and more. Available 24/7, because when nature calls, they answer. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. Reliable, local, clean.
Convenience just got an upgrade. Farmers State Bank of Oakley is excited to announce the opening of our brand new ATM along Highway 40, right next to Sonic Drive-In. Whether you're grabbing a snack or on the go, you can quickly access your cash without the detour. It's banking made easy, right where you need it. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
With NWKS Radio News, I'm Connor Schuh. Tonight, Colby Community College's volleyball team plays their third-to-last regular season game, a home contest against Butler Community College. The Trojans are coming off a 3-1 win on the road this past Saturday at Dodge Community College and hold their spot tied at the top of the Jayhawk Conference. Still one of only 2 one-loss teams in the conference tied with Barton Community College. They are keeping pace. Early this Monday morning, Wallace County emergency crews responded to 2 separate crashes within hours of each other. One happened on County Road 6, 2.2 miles south of Highway 40, in which a Freightliner lost control into a ditch. The driver was wearing a seatbelt but sustained suspected minor injuries and was transported to a local hospital. The second was the pickup accident that we discussed on yesterday's news, so everyone please be safe out there on the road. For these and other stories, go to nwksradio.net.
The frost advisory remains in effect this morning. Then this afternoon it'll be sunny, dry, and a bit warmer with highs in the upper 60s to around 70. Light northeasterly winds will turn clockwise to the south and east at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Another frost advisory has been issued for counties along and north of Highway 36 for the overnight and tomorrow morning. Lows will be 30 to 35, and the area south may be in the upper 30s. Tomorrow, clouds will increase through the day, and east-southeasterly winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Highs will be in the mid-60s. Rain chances increase overnight south of I-70 with lows around 40. Rain, a few showers and thunderstorms are possible on Friday. Highs will be in the 50s. Lows will be in the upper 30s. And Saturday, sunshine returns with temperatures rebounding into the middle 60s. Lows will be in the lower 40s. And on Sunday, more clouds. Highs at 60 to 65. Rain showers are possible Sunday night. This meteorologist Chris Romick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
When severe weather strikes, you need to stay informed. At NWKS Radio, we break in anytime, anywhere, giving you the latest watches and warnings to protect your family. When severe weather breaks out, we break in. Severe weather coverage is brought to you by Roof Masters of Colby, Pathway Ag, and Andrew Flanagan of Farm Bureau Financial Services. NWKS Radio, your weather safety station.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales. Just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
It's Truck Month at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Get behind the wheel of a brand new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 with 2.9% APR for 72 months. And if GMC's more your style, you're in luck. Drive home a 25 GMC Sierra Elevation with up to $7,000 in customer cash or lock in 0.9% APR on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500. Whether it's power, performance, or pure style, Hurl Chevrolet GMC has the truck to match your drive. Visit hurlchev.com or stop by today in Goodland and make this Truck Month one to remember.
This fall, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware has everything you could need. Keep your lawn strong with Ultimate Winterizer, the best defense before the frost. Warm up your evenings and create memories with a new fire pit. Or bring home the flavor with a great selection of grills and smokers from brands like Traeger, Blackstone, Green Egg, and more. And right now, the lumber prices are low, and so are the temperatures, making it the best season to tackle those outdoor projects. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby. Open every day but Sunday.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pest Away in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pest Away today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
The amount of money getting thrown around to quarterbacks who haven't done diddly squat is amazing to me.
And Connor Schuh.
He's the new guy.
The High Plains only local sports talk show, broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
Covering it all from the preps.
He's at the 10, the 5, he dives for the end zone. He's in! Touchdown, Cowboys!
To the pros.
Line drive, left field, base hit. Here comes McMahon. He'll score. Ball game.
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, along with
Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, the Insurance Agency, Pest Away LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, and the Farmer State Bank in Oakley.
Let's go to work.
He'll get it back and looks for McDavid, a one-timer, and there's the first goal of the season for the Edmonton captain. Power play goal, and Edmonton grabs a 1-0 lead.
Tisdale, can he make it happen for two? Can he win the game? Into the end zone. They've got it. They've got the two-point conversion. Musa Berry wins it for Western Kentucky.
2-point game. Keep it on the floor. Gilgeous-Alexander, MVP, down 2 on opening night. Pull up SGA. Got it. Ties the game.
And good Wednesday morning, everybody. It is the Morning Blitz on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and WKSradio.net and the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Thank you so much for tuning in on October the 22nd. Happy birthday to my brother, Riley. It's his birthday today. This month of October is just full of birthdays. Connor doesn't have a birthday, though, in October. I don't even know. When is your birthday?
It's not for a long time. May 19th.
May 19th. We got a ways before we can celebrate that. Heck, school will almost be out by that time.
Yeah, right. Jeez.
You were born at the right time.
Yeah.
But, you know, you got done. You had a birthday, and that's when summer break kind of started. I mean, pretty close.
It's weird because I graduated at the age of 21, so a little young for my, I guess, class. Can't really say that anymore, but I'll take it. I'm ahead of the curve.
You are ahead of the curve. And you have some decoration to the studio. I see you have a lovely Browns pennant. That looks nice.
Of course.
Very nice. I'm glad that you found something to pad the walls of the psychiatric ward over there. Looks great.
Yeah, we're slowly building it up. That one's been in delivery for like a week and a half.
So you don't have stuff you've collected over time. You got to have Sandy send that stuff in a box, from your
I do. I don't know why I didn't think about bringing it. It didn't really occur to me when I was coming over.
Oh, I get it. You're not thinking about that, but it's like, Mom, I need coats, more pants, and send me some of the stuff that's hanging on my wall in my room, please. That'd be great. Thanks.
Wouldn't be the worst ask, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure Sadie would understand.
Oh, yeah.
We got lots to get to on today's program. It'll be a full show. Henry Greenstein will be joining us, our good friend from KUSports.com. We'll be talking about another edition of the Sunflower Showdown getting going here on Saturday between Kansas and Kansas State. Is this the year that Kansas puts an end to this streak of losing to the Wildcats? We'll talk to Henry Greenstein about that. We'll also touch on some college basketball with Henry, as it is Big 12 basketball media days today in Kansas City. We will answer our listener Kyle's questions. We'll have some teams that we are looking forward to that have high expectations in college basketball, and also some underdogs as well in segment 3. And then we will have the College Football Power 5 coming up here in just a matter of moments. But we do need to hand out a congratulations to the Goodland Cowgirl golf team. They are your 2025 3-2-1A Girls State Golf Champs. The Cowgirls winning the tournament by a very impressive total of over 20 plus shots. It was a great performance from them as they end up defeating Jefferson West and St. Mary's Colgan, who finished in second and third respectively. The Cowgirls shot a 685, which according to head coach Connie Livengood was a program best for a state tournament, a 685 two-day score. Cowgirls were fantastic. They had 4 ladies place. Sadie Cedarstrom finished in 20th place, earning a medal. So did Tori Jones in 15th, Natalie Cure in 14th, and all the way at the top, Allison Cure capping her senior golf season with an individual state championship, an impressive 10 over par, 150 two-day total, 73 on day 1, a 77 on day 2, and that was enough to capture the gold ahead of Danielle Yogmore from St. Mary's Colgan and Harley Wade. And it was pretty much a race between Cure and Yogmore for first and second. That was a great showing by Allie Cure, and wins themselves a state golf championship as a team with the big trophy, the big one, and then also the gold medal as well for Allison Cure. Shout out to Colby's Braylon Stupka. She also took home a medal. She placed 16th yesterday. She shot a two-day total of 177, 37 over par. She shot a 90 on day 1, but an 87 on day 2 to finish in the top 20 and earn herself a medal. But once again, big time congratulations, Goodland Cowgirl golf team, state champs once again. It seems about like once every 4 to 5 years, Coach Goods has got a team that's in contention to win a state championship, and they get it done again with this great group. And, you take out Tori Jones and Allie Cure are the 2 seniors. They've got 3 girls, or 2 of the girls that placed inside the top 20 are back again next year because they are underclassmen this year. So a chance for them to have another really successful season in 2026. But 2025 certainly was special. They won every single tournament except for the very first one. They lost at Garden City. And from that point on, they won every single one, including regionals, and then again at state. Congratulations to Goodland Cowgirls, state champs in girls golf once again. Also want to highlight area high school volleyball. There were 7 more area teams advanced to the sub-state round with a postseason win yesterday. Quinter, Greeley County, Decatur Community, Shiloh, and Wheatley Grinnell all won their respective regionals yesterday. So they are advancing, and so are St. Francis and Wallace County, who finished runners-up. And so they are all set to go. And we will see, I think, later today where they will be playing and who they will be playing it's now a single elimination tournament style going forward. But we'll see where they will play and who they will play coming up on Saturday. We did learn yesterday that Goodland, Oakley, and Rawlins County will be playing Saturday. Goodland is heading to the Lakin sub-state, where they will have to face off against Hoisington in their first match. And then it's single elimination, so you have to win now. Either if you win, you advance. If you lose, your season's over. That's the way it is now. So the Cowgirls have to knock off Hoisington, a team that they have swept once this year, but also Hoisington has swept them. So that could lead to an interesting match. And then more than likely we'll have to play Lakin, who faces off against Southwestern Heights. And then Oakley is going to Medicine Lodge. They will take on Hayes TMP in their first match of the day. And if they win, they'll have to take on more than likely Medicine Lodge. And Rawlins County is in Ellenwood. They will take on Smith Center in their first match of the day. And if they were to win, they would more than likely have to face the number 1 and unbeaten Ellenwood squad there on their home floor. So that's a quick update on what's happening with sub-state volleyball, which once again will resume on Saturday. So with that, let's get to our college football Power 5. Lots to get to here in week number 9. All right, I'll let you lead off here. What do you got, Connor? Where are you leading us off with on the college football Power 5?
You want to do an honorable mention real quick?
Sure, throw one out there.
Houston at number 24, Arizona State. Gotta love a fun little Big 12 matchup. And Houston, you might not realize it, but they are 6-1 right now and 3-1 in the Big 12. And they've only played one legit team, and that's Texas Tech, and they got beat by 20. But this gives them a chance to get their first legit victory of the season. But, of course, Arizona State is incredibly tough to beat, and they had a signature win last week. So we'll see what happens, but I've got that one circled. Do you have any honorable mentions?
That game there could be a possible upset for Houston because Arizona State's going to be coming off of a massive high. By the way, Willie Fritz, that guy can coach, head coach for Houston. He's a Kansas high school grad, is Willie Fritz, and he is a heck of a football coach. He's won everywhere that he's been, Pitt State, Tulane, now at Houston. That guy can coach football as he's got himself a good team down there in Houston. I do have an honorable mention game. I always love a great, ugly game that, just kind of one that probably would be like, I don't want to watch that game. Why not Minnesota at Iowa?
I knew you were going to say that.
Of course.
Awesome.
You're starting to figure me out here. I love these games where the over-under is under 40. Look, these two teams are super physical football teams. Their quarterback for Iowa, Mark Gronowski, hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in conference play. He has 7 rushing touchdowns. Fun stat for you. Minnesota just got done beating the socks off of Nebraska on an embarrassing performance from the Cornhuskers on Friday night. They got to be feeling good. And this is a great rivalry game. These two teams don't like each other. They're going to get into a real slugfest, and it'll be really entertaining. Minnesota at Iowa, my honorable mention game in the college football Power 5. Yeah, Connor's he's starting to figure me out here. All right, let's move on.
Number 5.
This one might be a little low for some people's opinions, but number 3, Texas A&M, number 20, LSU. It still moves me. I mean, it's in my top 20. It's in my top 5, but I don't like it as much as I would have earlier this season. It seems like LSU is kind of spiraling, and Texas A&M is starting to push to the very front of the SEC. I mean, they're the number 3 team in the nation. They're the highest ranked SEC team, so you could say they're the best. But LSU, they kind of need to win this one, or else their season is, or at least their playoff chances are kind of just in the toilet at this point. I mean, they already kind of are because their schedule coming up, but I think this can still be a close game. Garrett Nussmeier is still, I'll call him an intriguing quarterback and can put together a good performance every now and again. I see what you're saying with the hand gesture. He's a little inconsistent.
He's up and down.
But they're still a good football team, and Brian Kelly's a good enough coach, as much as I don't like him. But, it's a good matchup, but I just want to throw the SEC down a peg.
Well, if this is LSU speaking, if they want to try to see if they can salvage something in the season, like have a very, very outside chance to make the playoffs, they have to win this game.
Oh, yeah.
The backs are squarely against the wall for LSU at this point in time. My number 5, I'm sticking close to home. I'm going with the Sunflower Showdown at Kansas State at KU. I just got to know. I mean, it's over 10 plus years that Kansas State has consecutively beaten the Jayhawks in football. Does that run of dominance continue for Kansas State, who has had, speaking of up and down, it has been an up and down season for Kansas State. KU's certainly been more consistent. Both teams should be well rested. They are both coming off buys. I don't know. This is another good rivalry in the world of college football. And I guess I want to know, does Kansas State's run of dominance end here, or do they find a way in a year that has been very disappointing for what Kansas State thought it could be, still find a way to stick the knife in the side of KU fans and win another Sunflower Showdown? So my number 5, Kansas State at Kansas. All right, we're listening. This is the College Football Power 5. On to
number 4.
I'm right there with you because that's my number 4, the Sunflower Showdown. And I mean, this year has been very weird for Kansas State. Like you said, all of their games have been close except for 2 of their 3 wins. They beat TCU and UCF by 2 scores apiece. But other than that, it's just been a lot of close losses to Iowa State, to Baylor, to Arizona, and to Army for God knows why. That's just been a very bizarre season. And Kansas has been kind of on the other end of things. They haven't been incredible, but they've been a little more fortunate. I mean, 4 wins to 3 wins, and they just got thrashed 2 weeks ago by Texas Tech with their backup quarterback. So I don't know. I think I kind of like Kansas State in this one, honestly, but regardless, I think this is going to end up being a close football game, and obviously it's going to be a little heated just because, I mean, it's obvious, but this is going to be a good game.
Yeah, we'll pick this game coming up on Friday in our picks of the weekend. My number 4 game back to the Big Ten, number 23, Illinois at Washington. I feel like this is the game of 2 programs that don't get as much love as they deserve. Both are 5-2. Both are very solid teams. Illinois was getting some love early before they just absolutely got smacked at Indiana, and I do mean smacked. But they're going to Washington, who has had a tough road. Think about Washington one time. Washington got done playing Ohio State, went across the country to Maryland, came back home, and then went back to play at Rutgers the following weekend out on a Friday, and still found a way to win both of those games. Then they had to go to Michigan, and they were at home versus Rutgers. Nonetheless, then they had to go to Michigan. That was a challenging stretch for them, and they still came out looking okay. I know that they've lost to Ohio State, they've lost to Michigan, who are 2 of the top 3 teams in the Big Ten, I would say, at this point in time. 2 of the top 4 for sure. I just think these 2 teams don't get enough love. I think it could be a really, really good game. And 2 great quarterbacks, DeMond Williams Jr. of Washington and Luke Altmaier of Illinois. 2 very good quarterbacks that you may not know about in college football. My number 4, Illinois at Washington. All right.
Number 3.
But on your scheduling thing, wouldn't it be crazy if there was a conference where a bunch of teams near the Pacific Coast would, play each other? Wouldn't that be
I mean, look, I'm a Big Ten guy now because of my Cornhuskers, but this whole conference realignment thing sucks.
It's awful. And then this game is totally away from any of that I'm about to talk about. Number 18, South Florida and Memphis. I love throwing in a group of 5 matchup, and these are probably the 2 best teams in group of 5. I talked about last week how South Florida kind of knocked Memphis off of their pedestal as a group of 5 playoff candidate because Memphis lost, South Florida won convincingly at FAU, and now they get to really duke it out, and this might be Memphis's last chance to really get back in the conversation with a win today, but it's going to be tough because South Florida is a wagon. If you know about them, Byron Brown, dog, their quarterback, he's a lot of fun to watch, and they're a really good football team, so I'm looking forward to it.
Very good game there for sure. My number 3 to the Southeastern Conference, where 2 of the best teams in the SEC that usually aren't in this spot face off. Number 15, Missouri, visiting number 10, Vanderbilt. Everyone thought that Vanderbilt could have a good year after what they did last year. And people thought maybe Missouri would have a solid year. I don't think they thought they'd have this kind of year.
No.
It's been a great year for Missouri. Their lone loss coming to Alabama and a tight one at home. And Vanderbilt's over there racking up wins that they haven't won in 50 years, doing things they haven't done in half a century. Vanderbilt is doing. Missouri at Vanderbilt, the battle of black and gold teams. Pavia and Prabula. Yeah, the P quarterbacks. Great runners, too. This ought to be a great football game. Really good. Really, really good game. Missouri at Vanderbilt. My number 3 in the college football Power 5 week number 9 edition.
Number 2.
Let's talk some number 8 Ole Miss at number 13 Oklahoma. This is probably the most healthy John Mateer will have been in a few weeks after coming off that injury, and now he's finally gotten a chance to settle back in, and now he's playing against a tough number 8 Ole Miss team that has had some trouble. Of course, they had the close game against Washington State, which is really scary for them. I mean, you don't want to see that.
They were overlooking Washington State and got past them. Then they get beat by Georgia last week.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. And I mean, it was still, they were in that Georgia game. It's not like they got thrashed or anything. So they're still a good team. Trinidad Chambliss, the Ferris State transfer, their quarterback, is a lot of fun to watch. He's a great quarterback, and he's going to do some great things. And obviously, I've talked about how fun it is to watch John Mateer. So it's a good SEC quarterback matchup, and it's my number 2.
My number 2, back to the Big 12, where the top team in the Big 12, 11th ranked BYU, visits Ames, Iowa to take on Iowa State. Look, BYU is a really good football team. They really are. They're a good football team. They just got done beating Utah in the Holy War at home. That's a great, great win and a great feather in their cap. I was going to pull this up real quick because I forgot to look, but this game between Iowa State and BYU, if I can pull it up here, I don't know why I can't find. Here we go. I was going to look and see Iowa State 2.5-point favorite at this point in time, but yeah, I just don't know about BYU. They have Arizona, West Virginia, Colorado, ECU. They take out the Utah game. I don't think they've played anybody that's just dominant. Arizona is better this year, no doubt. But you look at Iowa State, who is coming off consecutive losses. They had a bye week last week, but they had losses to Colorado and Cincinnati. They were so dinged up. Iowa State has to have gotten healthy over this bye week. It has to have gotten healthy. A healthy Iowa State team is just as good as BYU. This should lead to a really, really good game. Iowa State has the team, when healthy, and the atmosphere, Jack Trice Stadium, to knock off BYU. And I think we probably see that this weekend. At least Vegas sees it that way at this point in time. So number 2, BYU at Iowa State. All right, on to the top dog.
Number 1.
We've overlapped a little bit. This is Mizzou at Vandy.
Number 1 for you, huh? Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I really love this quarterback matchup. I mean, it's a big theme for a lot of these.
The PP matchup. The PP.
It's fun.
Pribula and
Sure.
Albia. Yeah.
Bo Pribula is a guy who Penn State is probably regretting letting go and choosing Drew Aller over. But, I mean, at the beginning of going into the offseason, that was probably the right choice. But Bo Pribula has been the better quarterback this year among those two, and he's been leading Mizzou to some real success. And, I mean, he's had a great year through the air and with his legs. He's an incredible runner of the football, and he's got some great running backs with him, too. Ahmad Hardy leads the SEC in rushing yards and touchdowns. And then he's got another guy, Jamal Roberts, who's got 400 rushing yards and 7 yards a carry. Their offense, they can run the football, and so can Vandy with Diego Pavia leading things with his legs. And he's just kind of a fun guy to root for. I mean, he can be a little annoying, I guess, for lack of a better word at times.
He's arrogant. He's arrogant. That's
he
for
can
sure.
definitely be arrogant, but he's almost like the little guy you kind of got to root for. I mean, he went to New Mexico State and came up here and is he's playing the best football Vandy has seen in, I don't even know how long, but this is unprecedented stuff for them. And this is, like you said, maybe 5 years ago, if you looked ahead, you're like, oh, that's like a nothing matchup, but this is a something matchup.
Yeah, and credit to these two teams for finding their way to get towards the middle of the pack or to the top of the SEC after being kind of cellar dwellers for quite a while in the Southeastern Conference. Yeah, Penn State, I don't know what you expect there. I mean, they were paying a lot of money to Drew Aller, and he led them to the college football semifinals. I mean, I don't know what you expected. I mean, Pribula was out even before then. So,
oh yeah, I'm just saying they're probably not happy.
I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying in general. But you just look at it, I mean, and they're two different completely styles. Pribula's a runner. Aller was a passer. I mean, it's different. So it's a tough. That's the deal in college football nowadays. You need to have one guy, and you have to pay that guy, and so other guys go other places. It happens.
Absolutely.
All right, number one for me, it is the big noon kickoff game. I'm fascinated by this game. UCLA at number 2, Indiana. It's the highest ranking the Hoosiers have ever been. They're at home, and they're playing unbelievable good football. But the hottest team in college football resides in Westwood, UCLA. I cannot believe what has happened. They fire their head coach. The golden boy, Jerry Neuheisel, takes over as offensive coordinator, and they have just been on an absolute heater. And that's why I think this is an interesting game. I don't know if UCLA is going to pull the upset, but by God, you talk about the ultimate test to see how great of a heater you're on. This is it.
I have the line.
And
what do you
beat
think
Indiana.
the line is?
Indiana, 12.5.
24.5. Yeah.
Say the way UCLA is playing right now, I'd say cover. They got the cover on that.
Yeah,
That's
they're probably gonna
huge.
cover that.
UCLA is white hot right now. I mean, you wouldn't touch them with the 10-foot pole. They're so hot.
Actually, correction, it's 25.5.
Oh, my gosh.
Still, same point.
I don't know. I guess I want to see it because UCLA has just found ways to win these games and pull off these. I know they've beaten Penn State. I know they've beaten Northwestern, I think. Then who else did they beat here? Then, of course, they beat Maryland last week. That's who they beat at the gun with the field goal. Maybe this luck runs out for UCLA and this little hot trick middle of the season is over, and it may be after this weekend. But you have to admit, I mean, going to this, who would have thought that Indiana at UCLA 5 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago was going to be on Big Noon kickoff because UCLA is this white hot?
Yeah, when they got beat by New Mexico by
exactly.
25, I mean,
yes. Who would have thought? It's the most unbelievable. And think about the storylines that it will be if they win this game. What if they win this game?
They're going to be 4-1 in the Big Ten.
That will be nuts. And they've knocked off the top team in the Big Ten behind Ohio State in Indiana. That is nuts.
Be insane.
Just nuts. My number one game. There you go. College Football Power 5, week number 9. All right, we got to get to break. Henry Greenstein joins us next on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. We'll talk to him about the Sunflower Showdown from the Kansas perspective. Maybe touch a little basketball as well. You're listening to the Morning Blitz here on a Wednesday.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
At Harvest, every acre tells the truth. And if you waited to see this season, you might be watching your yields slip away. Next year, don't wait and see. Know with TrivaPro. As the hardest working, longest lasting corn fungicide, TrivaPro works overtime to beat back disease, boost plant health, and preserve yield. For more bushels in the bin when it matters most. In 2026, don't wait to know. Go TrivaPro. Call your retailer today. Always read and follow label instructions.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
This is Austin Wright with the Anderson Trade Group and your morning market update. It is October 22nd. Seeds corn, 421. March 26 corn, 434.5. May 26 corn, 442.5. December KC wheat, 486.25. March 26 KC wheat, 506.25. May 26 KC wheat, 520. November 25 soybeans, 1034.25. January soybeans, 1052. March 26 soybeans, 1065.5. Dow Jones futures are currently up 12 points at 47,147. S&P 500 futures are currently up 6 points at 6,779. NASDAQ futures are currently down 34 points at 25,260. Gold futures are currently down 45 points at 4,063. Crude is currently up 48 cents at 58.30. For your grain marketing needs or more information on our freedom pricing tools, you can reach the Kansas City office, Jared Law, Tyler Grosh, Tom Saludo at 913-748-3000. In Colorado, John Hankey and John Stiles, 970-744-4484.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Farmers and ranchers, are you looking to sell your equipment at auction for zero fees and zero commissions? Well, then you need to check out Hayden Outdoors' new online equipment auction platform. You can list your equipment in our monthly online auctions using our easy-to-use platform, and you don't pay any fees or commissions. Visit HaydenOutdoors.com to learn more. That's HaydenOutdoors.com.
It's not just sports, it's your morning game plan.
I don't even believe you have a plan. I have part of a plan. That is not a plan.
This is the Morning Blitz.
$7:37 Mountain, 8:37 Central Time, Wednesday, October the 22nd. Glad you're with us here on the Morning Blitz. Been a busy show thus far. We recap Goodland Cowgirls State Championship in golf, what's happening in high school volleyball, and, of course, our Cultural Power 5. You missed any of that or any of the show, download the podcast. Check it out and listen to us there, like Sandy Schuh does from time to time, I've been told. Is that correct? Yeah. Also, your dad does too, right? So,
Both
yeah.
of them.
There you go. Avid podcast listeners, we salute those on the podcast. We also salute our guest today. He's a very busy man, but he's kind enough to spend some time with us today. Henry Chisholm, our good friend from KUSports.com, the Lawrence Journal World. Good morning, Henry. How are we doing today?
Fine, thank you. It's a pleasure to be on, as always. Big 12 Media Days in full swing. Sunflower Showdown week in football. It's crossover season for sure.
I'll tell you what, because you're so busy, we're going to let you take the lead on this. What would you like to start on? Would you like to start talking Kansas basketball today and with Media Days on the horizon, or would you like to dive into the Sunflower Showdown first?
That's a good question. Let's go with the football first, because I feel like that's probably the more salient topic on people's minds at this precise moment.
Okay, we'll start there, Henry. So, is this the year that Kansas puts an end to this streak against Kansas State?
Well, here's the thing. I feel like it's impossible to say yes. I mean, I've been trying my prediction for this week. I feel like you simply cannot predict Kansas to win this game until the Jayhawks actually do it. Because the last 2 weeks have shown repeatedly that they just cannot get over the hump. Even if the talent thing is in their favor, even if the circumstances are in their favor, I think the intangibles of this rivalry still swing the way of the Wildcats. And I probably will pick the Wildcats to win simply because, they have, I guess, less pressure, you might say. I understand there's pressure to continue the streak, but I think for Kansas, especially for a lot of the veteran players for whom this is their last chance, and for Lance Leipold, who's still looking to win a rivalry game for the first time in his tenure, I mean, this is one of the biggest games of this particular era of Kansas football. It may be the single biggest. And I feel like the team that's coming in not as favored, paradoxically, the one that's won the last 16 editions of this rivalry, is the one that I'll probably pick to win it again, despite the home field advantage in Lawrence, despite the fact that they're having one of their worst seasons in a long time. It's just really difficult to pick KU to break the trend in this particular scenario, but we'll see what happens.
Henry, if KU is to win this game, do you think it's going to be off the strength of Jalen Daniels' arm?
Yes, absolutely. He's currently having a great season, and one that if KU had a better overall record, would have him in Heisman conversations. I mean, he's got 18 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He really hasn't even run the ball as well as we know he can from previous years, in part because the option game that is part of what allowed KU to rise to prominence beginning in 22 really hasn't been as much of a factor. And Lance Leipold and the offensive coordinator, Jim Bobrowski, said this week that that was really just a product of what defense has been throwing at them. But whatever the case, that hasn't been as much of a factor, but he's been such a successful pure passer that it really hasn't even mattered. Texas Tech game 2 weeks ago, the last time that KU played, Daniels was sacked 9 times, which was the most since his freshman year back in the Les Miles era. But he still managed to go like 27 of 33 and throw 2 touchdown passes. He has been truly incredible. To this point, the season has been everything that he hoped for. He's combined consistent availability with consistent ability on the field. And he's the reason why KU has 4 wins at this juncture. But like I said, it hasn't quite registered on a broader scale because, KU blew the Cincinnati game late and couldn't hold on in the Missouri game late. And that's how you find yourself 4-3 instead of 6-1 and firmly in the Big 12 conversation.
Henry Greenstein, our guest, KUSports.com, Lawrence Journal World, joining us on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware hotline here on this Wednesday morning. I want to stick with the quarterbacks. Which quarterback, in your opinion, is playing better coming into this game?
That's a good question because obviously Avery has increased his quality of play, and they're starting to work in his dual threat ability more, which I know was a big point of criticism that Kansas State encountered earlier in the year. But I'm still going to have to go with Jalen simply because of the consistency he's shown. I understand, Avery's led a game-winning drive this year. Jalen still hasn't really done that. And really in general during his career, Jalen has not led a lot of game-winning drives. But in terms of the overall kind of 4-quarter strength of these respective quarterbacks, I'll have to give JD the edge. I think he's probably a better pure passer at this juncture in his career. And obviously you have to remember he's been in college since 2020. So it's a little bit different than Avery, who's in his second full season as a starter. But I do think that KU has a slight edge in terms of quarterback play. The rushing game, maybe it's a little more unclear. It doesn't seem like Dylan Edwards is obviously going to play, but KU's run game has been a little bit lackluster compared to years past, and their run game has really been what's gotten it done for them in these last 2 games against K-State to put them in contention. But speaking solely in terms of the quarterbacks, I do think Jalen's playing a little better than Avery this year.
Henry, take out the quarterbacks. What is one area that Kansas has an advantage, and then one area that K-State has the advantage that we should that we should look at? Not once again, that does not include the quarterbacks.
Well, one area where K-State has an advantage is ability to target the tight end through the passing game. And the reason why I say that specifically is, Garrett Oakley's obviously having a great year on his own, but also KU has been really soft in coverage at times this year. And it's been uneven. And there have been some games where they've been great, but it's a really young group that has provided plenty of space over the middle. You just got to watch the Cincinnati game to see that. And I suspect that there will be holes in zones where guys like Oakley will find space in which to operate. I think that's a matchup that could potentially be problematic. You think about some big catches that Joe Royer made in that Cincinnati game I mentioned. But K-State's always been so great at using the tight end. That's one area that I think could be potentially troublesome. On the other end, there's a couple ways you could potentially go in terms of advantages that KU has. I think that the defensive line for KU is probably the best that it's had under Leipold, whereas the offensive line for K-State, despite has rounded into form a little bit, but it's not the same as like the unit that produced NFL players that they had a couple years ago. Or anything like that. And Dean Miller came in with high expectations and hasn't been quite as great as expected maybe, but otherwise, guys like on the interior, DJ Withers, Tommy Dunn, Blake Harold, Keenan Caldwell have been great at tackle. And then on the outside, Leroy Harris, Justice Finkley, Alex Bray, Dak Brinkley. All these players have combined to make for a unit that's gotten a pretty good pass rush at times, but it has more work to do against the run. But I do think that in terms of putting a pass rush on Avery, and maybe at least trying to contain him in the pocket to prevent him from creating on the fly. That's one area where I think KU will be well suited to take advantage.
One more on the football side of things. Henry Greenstein, our guest here on the Morning Blitz. I think, this is me personally thinking this, if this game is going to be close and it's going to come down to what team makes the less mistakes, where are you leaning? Would you agree on that statement? And what defense do you think is going to be the most opportunistic?
I mean, that's an excellent and accurate statement. You just got to look back at the last couple of years to see that, because both games, if KU doesn't make one of 5 different mistakes, it ends up winning. I mean, 2023, they have a blocked extra point that's returned for a defensive conversion. They drop a pick 6 right after halftime and then muff a punt at midfield. 2024, I mean, there's any number of ways you can go, but Quentin Skinner drops a touchdown. Jameel Croft steps out of bounds at the 1-yard line on the kickoff. And then Jalen fumbles twice in the last 5 minutes of that game. Yes, I think that's a really good assessment of what will happen. And I think special teams will be particularly implicated by that assessment based on some of the things I mentioned before. As for which team is better suited in that realm, it kind of goes back to what I said before. I just don't know that KU has not thrived in these pressure situations in general. Winning one-score game outside of the UCF game this year, which we'll see if that turns out to be an aberration. At UCF, the defense came with a goal line stand and then stopped UCF again for good measure. But we also know the Knights are one of the lesser teams in the Big 12. Outside of that, KU has really just not thrived in close games over the last 2 years. And so I think there's a team that's more inclined to make mistakes. Honestly, probably the best course of action for the Jayhawks is to get a large enough lead that 1 or 2 errors will not sink them in the clutch the way it has the last 2 years. But also, realistically, it's a rivalry game. You have a feeling this one will be in contention in the fourth quarter, even if this is the worst K-State team in a while. And so, yeah, that's an area where I'd have to give the Wildcats the edge.
Let's switch over to basketball for the last minute here or two, Henry. Today, Big 12 basketball media days. What are you hoping to learn here at media days, or what are the interesting storylines going into today there in KC?
Yeah, there's a few ways to go. I mean, first and most pressingly, they play an exhibition against Louisville on Friday. You can only determine so much from that, but it'll be interesting to hear from Self about what the format of an exhibition will be, who he thinks might play. Because last year when they went to Arkansas, they were missing like 4 players, so it was really not representative of what was to come, except, of course, in the fact that they lost to Arkansas, just as they did in the first round of the NCAA tournament. But besides that, I mean, obviously all eyes will be on Darren Peterson, right? This is a guy who, despite missing out on being a preseason All-American, somewhat surprisingly, is the favorite to be the number 1 pick in next year's draft. He's preseason freshman of the year in the Big 12 and a unanimous first-team preseason all-conference pick. And I think specifically what I want to talk to Darren Peterson about is how his teammates have challenged him in practice. Talking to Melvin Council the other day, they've really made an effort on trying to make things hard for him and trying to give him early exposure to what it's going to be like at the collegiate level and some of the things that opponents will try to do to make life difficult for him. Even bringing in Ginyu Gala, kind of a small, pesky guard, was in part something they did to challenge DP in practice more. So that's something I want to talk to Peterson himself about, as well as some of his teammates, because I think that, in an offseason, you only have your teammates to go up against, so that can go a long way in terms of development, especially for someone that's going to be a one and done, and this is his only year here. Like those months of his teammates trying to iron sharpens iron him are going to be really significant. Other than that, there's a couple ways to go. Flory Badunga is going to be there today. He obviously needs to take a significant jump forward. I think a lot of people look at Flory's stats from last year with 5.9 points and 5.2 rebounds per game and are not necessarily blown away. But KU is counting on him to be its second best player. And how much he developed over the offseason will be a really significant storyline, because Hunter Dickinson, for all his flaws, gave you a double-double every single day. And can Flory do that? We shall see. A lot of it's going to depend on his ability to stay on the floor and not get in foul trouble. So some remains to be determined there. And other than that, you can always count on Bill Self to say 1 or 2 interesting things, even if he's asked fairly unassuming questions. you can only count on him to get some interesting points out there when there's a microphone in front of him and he's at a podium. So we'll see what direction he decides to take the regional and national conversation today.
My final one for you, Henry, is John Rothstein. I think it was on his podcast show or something like that. He made the comment how he says KU basketball is no longer really the cream of the crop in the Big 12, with Houston and Texas Tech kind of surpassing them, BYU maybe surpassing them. How do you read that from John Rothstein?
Well, here's the problem with that. Like, yes, factually speaking, KU just had 2 pretty bad seasons. But on the other hand, it's still Kansas. Like, Kansas coming to town will still be the biggest game in many home arenas across the country. And Kansas will always get the best shot of the team that it's facing. So while they may not have been in the upper echelon competitively the last 2 years, I don't think that does anything to tarnish, like, the brand, particularly because it was built up over the course of decades and over a century. And I don't think it necessarily changes the national perception of Kansas in immediately, like in the present, because especially now with Jared Peterson, like this is a team that will have plenty of eyes on it. And as long as they're wearing those crimson and blue jerseys, like everyone's going to treat them the same way. So while I understand like the roster building talent based thing he's saying, I don't think it actually has much of a material effect that they haven't been good the last years in terms of like how they'll be treated or what the standards are within the program. So I think it's a fair point. I don't know if it will apply to this year's roster. Like Rothstein has them as like his 32nd best team. I think that's maybe a little harsh for a team with the presumptive number 1 player in the country. So I don't know. I guess I kind of have mixed feelings about that particular take of his.
Understandably so. Henry Greenstein, KUSports.com, Lawrence Journal World. Henry, it's always a joy to have you on, my friend. Enjoy media days. We'll catch up again soon, all right?
All right. Thanks, guys.
Once again, great stuff. I love Henry Greenstein. That guy has got great information. We'll take a break. We'll be back with our own college basketball, predictions? I don't know what you would call it. We were asked, we had a listener chime in with a question. We'll try and answer that best we can next in the Morning Blitz.
Days physician and chief medical officer at Goodland Regional Medical Center. I wanted to tell you about our enhanced ophthalmology services available in Goodland and their new name, the Eye Center at Goodland Regional Medical Center. The Eye Center has increased availability and expanded clinic hours. Patients and referring physicians now have greater access to advanced eye care for corneal, retinal, and oculoplastic conditions. To schedule an appointment, call 785-728-4130.
At Eklund Insurance, they understand your unique needs. Whether you're a farmer protecting your farm and ranch, or you need commercial or personal insurance for your home, health, or auto, the team at Eklund Insurance has you covered. Their consultative approach ensures you get the best advice tailored to your situation. They shop around for the best insurance products, so you don't have to. Eklund Insurance, your trusted partner in comprehensive coverage. Stop by today to talk to one of their agents at 1628 Caldwell Avenue in Goodland.
It's Truck Month at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Get behind the wheel of a brand new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 with 2.9% APR for 72 months. And if GMC's more your style, you're in luck. Drive home a 25 GMC Sierra Elevation with up to $7,000 in customer cash, or lock in 0.9% APR on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500. Whether it's power, performance, or pure style, Hurl Chevrolet GMC has the truck to match your drive. Visit hurlchev.com or stop by today in Goodland and make this Truck Month one to remember.
All the sports you love, all in one place.
Ooh, this will come in handy.
This is the Morning Blitz.
All right, we wrap up the show here with about 5 minutes, or give or take a few here, to talk a little bit about college basketball. Big 12 Basketball Media Day is going on right now. I just saw Ryan Gilbert. I'm going to try and get on the show for tomorrow, our good friend from Go Power Cat. I just saw him because he's there watching. Kansas State's on the podium right now talking, and Jerome Tang says that P.J. Haggerty is the best point guard in the country. Bashir is the best shooter in the country. And Mogi Ikruuka, I forget how to say his last name, is the best athlete in the country. I think Jerome Tang's drinking the Tang this morning with a little extra something in it.
Hey, you need to be confident in your guys.
I get that, but come on, bud. After the last couple of years for K-State basketball, I think I'd be one to hang underneath the radar a little bit if it was me.
Haggerty's not even a point guard.
Well, that's what he says.
He's
he's going to play. He's going to play point guard.
That dude doesn't pass that much.
But I know, not when you average that amount of points. That's for sure. You don't pass it that much. Okay, so listener Kyle yesterday chimed in yesterday. He wanted to know what our early top 5 teams to watch out for in your underdogs this season in college basketball. We'll have to roll through this rather quickly. I'll give you the floor. I don't even know. Did I even give 5 teams? I guess I did. I dug out 5 teams that are my top 5 teams to watch, and then I had to have a couple underdog teams. But go ahead. What do you got?
I'll try and cram this into 5, but my top 5 real quick from 5 to 1. The defending champs, Florida. Number 4, UConn. Number 3, Duke. Number 2, Houston. Number 1, Purdue.
Only Duke is the only team that's really actually not in the top preseason top 25 that's in your top 5. Okay.
Which is kind of weird. I mean, they got one of the best prospects in the country. I mean, he's not quite Darren Peterson, but
Boozer?
Yes, Cameron. Well, he got Cameron and Caden. Cameron's the one.
The
He's
Boozer
a really good one. Carlos Boozer's kids, for those who may not know, but they're supposed to be pretty legit, and they still returned some talent, obviously. I mean, it's not great when you don't have Cooper Flagg, but, I mean, he wasn't ever going to return. But looking away from them, Purdue, we can talk about Purdue real quick. They returned Braden Smith, and they got a really, really good center in the transfer portal by the name of Oscar Clough. This guy is legit. He comes from South Dakota State, and this dude, I'm pretty sure he led the nation in rebounding, and he averaged nearly
7'8".
He's not quite Edie size, but he's over 7 foot, and he's just dominant. Great player, and he's going to complement well with Braden Smith.
Big Ten is different than the Missouri Valley.
Yes, but I think he'll be fine. He's got the size to compete in the Big Ten with these centers. But Braden Smith, he's probably the best point guard in the nation. He's an incredible passer of the basketball, great shooter, great player overall. Houston returns 3 of their best players from their national title contending team. UConn still returns a lot of guys, and they got a couple good transfers. Silas Damari, I actually got to watch him play a couple times for Georgia, and he was a really solid floor general, just a solid, sound point guard that can run your offense. And then Florida lost Walter Clayton, Will Richard, Elijah Martin, a lot of guys. That's their entire backcourt in their starting 3, but they re-upped with Boogie Fland, sophomore. I guess you could call him point guard. He's kind of a combo guy, but he's a bigger guard, 6'5", 6'6", but he can get buckets. He was really good at Arkansas last year. And then they got Xavier Lee. I don't know if you know much about this guy, but little point guard from Princeton. But this dude can play. I mean, he averaged upwards of 18, 19 points a game for the past couple of years, and he's been a hot name in the portal. And Florida was able to get him, and they returned their front court as well. And then for underdogs, we've got 2. Ohio State and Kansas State, actually. I was looking at the roster constructions, and Kansas State did lose some guys, but when you get a player like a PJ Haggerty, I mean, that's legit. He is a star, and he's the type of guy who can, at times when your offense isn't really rolling, he can just put that backpack on him, and he can just get going and get hot in a hurry and carry you to some real success. And they lose Doug McDaniel, but whatever. You have PJ Haggerty now. It's not that big of a deal. And you lose Coleman Hawkins, but I don't know if people are really losing sleep over that. And for Ohio State, they return all their best players, couple all Big Ten type of guys, all Big Ten freshmen, John Mobley, all Big Ten point guard, Bruce Thornton, one of the best in the nation. Devin Royal, smaller guy, but plays like a 7-foot center. He's really fun to watch, and they got some good transfers. A 7-footer from Santa Clara, Christoph Tilley. He can pass, shoot, dribble, and he's a little on the softer side for a big man, but he can do a lot of different things. They got a great rebounder from Baylor, Josh Ojiwana, and they got a couple other fine freshman prospects, and Gabe Cupps from Indiana, who was so good in high school and is still trying to kind of find his way. But I like that they returned a lot of talent, and I think they will be able to find a way to finish near the top of the Big Ten. And I think Kansas State will also find a way towards the top of the Big 12 and NCAA tournament contention for both of those.
We'll see. I got to believe it to see it with Kansas State. They've had this year where they bring in a big-time guard transfer and it doesn't work out. They can't get him to gel with anybody, and I could see that happening again with Haggerty. We'll see.
Fair.
My 5 teams, I didn't do top 5. I just did 5 teams that I think look out for this year that are going to be really good, and then maybe some sleeper teams. So Purdue's in there. If you have a great point guard, Braden Smith's one of the best, not to mention Fletcher Lawyer and Trey Kaufman-Renn. They got great pieces. Purdue's phenomenal. Houston's in the same exact league as them. They return 3 starters. Miles Uzan, Joseph Tugler, plus they had 3 top 25 recruits, and Kelvin Sampson can coach ball. Houston's going to be really good.
Defense.
BYU, Kevin Young, the Cougars, they can fill it up. Not to mention they got AJ DiPatanza, who's fantastic, could be the number 1 overall pick. Richie Saunders, one of the best shooters in the country. Baylor transfer Robert Wright III. They have all the pieces you need to be really good, BYU. Texas Tech, Grant McCashlin's done a great job with that program. They have maybe the best inside-outside duo in Christian Anderson and All-American JT Toppin, plus a pretty good transfer class as well. And then I'm going to throw in, even though I'm in Nebraska, I'm going to throw in Creighton. They have done a great job of they brought in Josh Dix and Owen Freeman from Iowa. They've got shooters everywhere, including the 6'10 guy, Jackson McAndrew, who has finished the season with 3 straight games of double-figure scoring. Look out for Creighton. I think they're going to be pretty good. My sleeper teams this year, I'll play the homer card. Nebraska knocked off BYU. If Nebraska shoots a 3-ball well, look out. They could be good. But I am going to throw in 2 very deep sleeper teams that no one's probably going to be looking out for. And one of them pains me to say it because it's a love-hate relationship with me. The Iowa Hawkeyes are a team to watch out this year because I believe that they have the college basketball coach equivalent of Curt Cignetti.
Really?
Yes, I believe they do.
Okay.
I believe they do.
Wow, Ben McCollum, huh?
Ben McCollum, I think, is the best basketball coach that no one talks about enough. He won multiple national titles at my alma mater at Northwest Missouri State. He goes to Drake in his first year and had them in the second round of the NCAA tournament. I think could have made it to the Sweet 16. And he brought his best player, Bennett Sturtz, one of my favorite players in all of college basketball, with him to Iowa. Not to mention 4 other guys from his Drake time to Iowa. I bet you Iowa is pretty darn good. I have said it before. I will say it again. Ben McCollum will be coaching in a Final Four before we know it. I don't know if it's going to be at Iowa, but I think he's going to be coaching in a Final Four at some point in time. I think he's one of the best basketball coaches that no one really talks about enough. He is unbelievably good. And another deep sleeper, St. Thomas. A story to watch. St. Thomas is a Division III that is jumping to Division I this year, but they have dominated so much at Division III. I just want to see if that translates in Division I, and I think it might. They could be a team that plays the NCAA tournament in their first year of D1 basketball.
I love it.
They were kicked out of Division III. So some deep sleeper teams there, Iowa and St. Thomas. All right, we're out of here. We got to get to the walk-off. We are, once again, as I thought, overdue.
And back lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about a walk-off Gray? Thomas to the 10. Difference going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
Really, Nebraska shouldn't be a sleeper team. They made Rothstein's top 45. Ohio State, Kansas State, Iowa, St. Thomas didn't. So, they're not really that deep of sleeper teams. But nonetheless, I still think the Iowa St. Thomas will be interesting teams to watch this year. All right, in the walk-off real quickly, Colby Community College volleyball in action tonight. They are at home. I think it's either their last or second to last home game of the season. They host Butler tonight at the Colby Event Center. Go check them out. All right, that'll do it for our show. We're way past due. For Connor, I'm Ross. See you back here again on a Thursday. It's been Blitz.